Jesus, He gets us. There are moments you don't need someone to fix you. You don't need another lecture, another opinion, or another person explaining what you should have done differently. You just need someone to understand. You need someone to recognize that you are tired for a reason. You need someone to see that the anger is covering pain. The silence is hiding disappointment. And the smile you're wearing took more strength than anybody realizes. That's one of the most meaningful truths about Jesus. He gets us. Jesus understands what it's like to be human because he did not observe humanity from a safe distance. He stepped into it. He knew hunger. He experienced exhaustion. He felt grief. He faced rejection. He was misunderstood by people who claimed to know what God wanted. He was betrayed by someone close enough to sit at his table. Jesus knows what it feels like to love people who do not love you back. He knows what it's like to tell the truth and still be accused of doing something wrong. He knows what it's like to stand in a room filled with people and realize that almost no one understands what is happening inside of you. When we say Jesus gets us, we're not saying that Jesus excuses everything we do. Understanding is not the same as approval. Now, a good doctor can understand how an injury happened while still telling you that it must be treated. A loving parent can understand why a child made a bad decision without pretending that the decision was harmless. Jesus understands the wounds behind our behavior, but he also understands what those wounds can turn us into when they remain untreated. He gets us, but he does not leave us exactly as he found us. Think about the people that Jesus met. He met frightened people, proud people, dishonest people, grieving people, religious people, lonely people, wealthy people, sick people, and people who had made a complete mess of their lives. Jesus did not approach every person in exactly the same way. He comforted some, challenged others, asked questions. He told stories, he sat at tables, he touched people everyone else avoided, and he defended people who were being publicly humiliated, but he never told them that their choices did not matter. Jesus saw the whole person. He gets us. Most people only see one chapter of your life and decide they understand the entire story. They see your mistake, but not the pressure that led to it. They see your reaction, but not the years you spent trying not to react. They see the day you finally broke, but not the 1,000 days you held everything together. Jesus sees all of it. He gets us. He sees the things you wish you could explain. He sees the conversations you replay in your mind. He sees the apology you never received. He sees the moment someone changed and when something changed inside you, even when no one else noticed. But here's the lesson. Being understood by Jesus should teach us how to understand other people. It's easy to enjoy the idea that Jesus understands our weaknesses while refusing to have patience with anyone else's. We want grace for our bad days and immediate accountability for theirs. We want people to consider our intentions, but we judge them only by their actions. We want someone to listen to our side of the story, but we're often willing to make decisions about people before they have even spoken. Following Jesus means learning to look deeper. He gets us. The rude cashier may be carrying news that changed her life this morning. The impatient driver may be trying to reach a frightened family member. The coworker who seems distant may be fighting a battle he doesn't even know how to explain. And the teenager who says, "Leave me alone," may actually be asking, "Will you keep loving me when I don't know how to talk to you?" That does not mean every action should be acceptable. It means every person should be treated as a human being. He gets us. You see, Jesus was remarkably compassionate about so much, and without becoming dishonest. He could recognize someone's pain while still calling them toward a better life. That's the balance we often lose. You know, some people use truth like a weapon. They say harsh things and call it honesty. Other people avoid truth entirely because they don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. Jesus showed us another way. He gets us. He offered truth with love and love with direction. When Jesus met people who were trapped in shame, he did not add more shame. When he met people who were using power to harm others, he did not ignore it. He gave each person what love required, not simply what made the moment easier. Jesus gets us well enough to know that we need comfort and we need correction. Sometimes we need to hear, "You've carried this long enough." Sometimes we need to hear, "You cannot keep treating people this way." Sometimes we need to hear, "What happened to you was not your fault." Sometimes we need to hear, "What you do next is your responsibility." Jesus understands the difference. That's why we can be honest with him. You don't have to clean up your thoughts before you pray. You do not have to pretend you are not angry, confused, jealous, disappointed, or afraid, because God already knows what is happening inside of you. He gets us. Honesty does not frighten Jesus. You can say, "I do not understand why this happened." You can say, "I have trouble forgiving them." You can say, "I know what the right thing is, but I do not want to do it." You can say, "I believe, but I am struggling." And you know what? Jesus can work with honesty. What becomes dangerous is pretending. We cannot heal what we refuse to admit is hurting. We cannot change what we insist is not a problem. We cannot receive grace while continuing to perform for God as though he does not already know us. He gets us. Jesus gets us. Not the polished version, not the version we present at church, at work, online, or around people we're trying to impress. He gets the real us. And somehow, after seeing the whole truth, he still moves closer. That may be the most powerful part of this message. Jesus does not love an imaginary version of you. He loves you, the person who has succeeded and failed, the person who has been faithful and inconsistent, the person who has helped others and sometimes hurt them, the person who is still learning how to live with courage, patience, humility, and grace. He gets us. He understands where you have been, but he also sees who you can become. So when you hear the words, Jesus gets us, do not stop at the comfort of being understood. Life is a lesson because Jesus understands you. You can stop hiding. Because Jesus forgives you, you can take responsibility. Because Jesus has been patient with you, you can become more patient with others. Because he sees beyond your worst moments, you can refuse to define others by theirs. Jesus gets us. The question is whether spending time with him will teach us to become people who finally begin to get one another. He gets us. My name is Douglas Vandergraph, and I believe in Jesus Christ. God bless every single one of you. Every single one.